So I actually changed to a completely different swing overnight. And yeah, I guess it transformed my game. I mean, that just means changed. So, there's nothing hard about doing that. Let's head over to the swamp and I'll show you what I mean. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the swamp. Okay, I want to start this out by saying I changed to a completely different swing last week. I went from my normal arm swing, meaning my arms controlled the swing and my body just reacted to what my arms did. Now I switched to a body swing, meaning my body controls the swing and my arms react to what my body does. I did it because I lost probably about 25 yards on my drives over the last couple of years, and I figured it was just old age catching up with me, and it was. But switching to a body swing gave me all those yards back instantly. That's when I realized it was my arm strength that I'm losing, but my core and my leg strength, they're holding up pretty good, and that's what you use in a body swing. Okay. First, let me show you what each swing looks like and see if you can even tell the difference. All right, here I'll do a couple of each. Here's my arm swing I've been using since I started golfing, 40-some years ago. So here's that swing. That's my normal arm swing. And here's my new, which I just started last week, my new body swing. You see if you can even tell the difference. Okay, I'll show you in a lot more detail in a little while here. Now, neither one of these swings are any better than the other one because they both get you where you need to be to let this unfolding of this lever system work. And then that's all that matters, providing, of course, everything in your body is loose and stress-free or rigid-free, especially your wrists, because none of this works right if they're not. And almost everything happens automatically if you're loose enough to allow it. All right. The main difference in these two swings is that an arm swing is pretty much right side dominant and a body swing is pretty much left side dominant. So yeah, you know how I always said the swing is just like a throwing motion? Well, an arm swing is. It's almost identical to skipping stones. In fact, the body movements are exactly the same. And it's mostly controlled with the right arm and right side, and the left arm just kind of assists in everything. Well, I can't think of any sport that's just like a body swing, but it's almost exactly the same as something else we've all probably done and that humans have been doing since the beginning of time. Okay, this is the motion. Now you tell me, I could be picking up rocks and tossing them aside. Or I could be picking up sacks filled with whatever and tossing them into the back of a truck. Or maybe I'm throwing buckets of water onto a fire. It doesn't matter. The body actions are exactly the same. We're using all these bigger muscles in our bodies because all these things are too heavy to toss around using just our arms. Okay, now watch how similar these are. Here's the motion actually throwing something. And notice after I throw it, there's no follow through because the weight's gone. So because it's heavy, I have to kind of fling it back and then just fling it forward. That's the motion. Now here it is with the club. Now the only difference is that because it's so much lighter, I can take it back farther. And because I won't get rid of the weight, there's going to be a follow through. Otherwise, it's the exact same motion. To me, the main difference with this swing is that when I'm in my let it rip position, which I've talked about many times, so when I'm in my let it rip position, I have to already have all my weight over here on this left side. My left leg has to be way more bent, and now watch what happens, because this is what's controlling this. So if I just turn that left knee over or back or around, or however you want to think about it, or however you want to see it. You know, that's up to you. But you can see just by turning that left knee, it brings my arms down all the way to where that unfolding will start. And I'm not I'm not doing this with my arms. I'm not moving them at all. You can see I can go right back there. It's just this left leg and you can consider your left hip, whatever is right for you. Personally, I don't consider it. I just let it happen automatically. You know, I'm just breaking it down so you can kind of get a feel of what it should be like. Another big difference with this swing is that my so-called backswing, as you know, I don't call it a backswing because I only have one swing. In fact, why would they call it a backswing and then a downswing? You know, everything else is either back and forth or up and down or side to side. You know, it's like right off the bat they're trying to confuse you. I mean, the club head goes more up than it does back. Just watch. Okay, now it's going back, but it's also coming up. It's still going back, but it's coming up. And now it starts to come forward, but it's still moving up. All the way to here, it's still moving up, but it's moving that way. So it's actually more of an upswing than a backswing. But I digress. So anyways, because there's no lifting up of the arms, that let it rip position won't be as high as when you're swinging with your arms. Now your arms just aren't dead or limp like a wet noodle. They still need to be lively or energized. They just don't actually do anything except follow along, which means they'll be lagging behind. You know, in fact, everything is going to be lagging behind this initial knee move, not just the club head. So here's a few things that have to happen to make this work right. You know, first thing to know is that when you take it back, or should I say up, well, it should be like it's only your upper body that feels like it's moving. You know, the lower body should only twist a little to accommodate this big move from your upper body. You know, it should feel like your lower body kind of wants to hold its ground, or like it's resisting against what the upper body is doing. You know, that's how you get that X factor stretch, and you need that. It's like if you had a rubber figure of a person and held it up and, you know, twisted the top half and then let it snap back. You know, it's kind of like a wind up or winding it up. You know, the next thing that's an absolute must is this shoulder muscle here must be stretched. You know, here's what I mean. See, when I just put my relaxed arms out and then stretch them out like this, well, that's these shoulder muscles back here that do that. And this left one will naturally stretch when you take your club back, as long as your arms are loose and relaxed. You know, if not, I guess you can force it to happen. I don't know. You know how many people would be willing to tell you they don't know?
No. How many?
I don't know. So anyways, that left shoulder has to stay stretched throughout the entire swing. You know, at least until the point of full extension, which in a body swing happens way out here, whereas in an arm swing it happens more down in here area. So in reality, it's the body's movements that are the swing itself. And you should be able to duplicate this body motion just by seeing it done, especially after seeing it's just a standard normal body movement that we would all use when tossing something like that log I tossed. I mean, the only other thing to consider is what the club head is doing when it comes through that hitting area. And that doesn't change no matter what kind of swing you're using. And if your wrists are loose enough and not trying to manipulate or control this club head, then everything will fall into place. You know, like I said before, you have to give up control to get control. And there's hardly a golfer out there that's not trying to control the club head with their wrists, you know, except of course when they're making practice swings. You know, almost everyone is ball bound or psyched out by the ball or whatever you want to call it. Okay, since this is my final golfing video, please stay tuned to the end for my closing words of wisdom or stupidity. You tell me. And I have one last contest with a prize to give away. Okay, I figured I'd hit a few just to show you what it looks like, which doesn't mean jack, because I can pretty much hit decent shots with any kind of messed up swing. And my motion is the same whether I'm hitting the ball or not. I think it's better for you to just see the simple motion being done, whether I have a club or not. Now, here it is without a club, and you can see it's just like I'm reaching back here to grab something and then flinging it. Or, like I said, I'm reaching back and then just hurling it or tossing it, But you can see the simplicity of it. Now, here's the same thing with the club. I'll do the same thing. It's the exact, like I'm reaching over and then just letting it go. And it's actually easier when you add the weight on the end of this stick, because it helps everything stretch out, especially this shoulder muscle here. I truly believe you can learn more just by seeing the simplicity of the entire motion, because that's what a swing is, an entire one-piece motion, not some step-by-step, complicated, confusing monstrosity put together with dozens upon dozens of different pieces. All right, I had to delete some stuff here because I think I got a little bit too mean. So I'll finish with this. Okay, here's my skipping stones motion. It's just your simple, basic throwing motion. And now here it is with the club. First, just one hand. Now, two. But you can see, the body movements are exactly the same. Now, here's the body swing motion. And again, it's just your simple, basic tossing motion. And here it is with the club. You can see the body movements are identical. It really is that simple. And the ingenious design of this club is why it all works so easily without any manipulation. It's your mind that keeps you believing that it's so much more complicated than it really is. And the real instructors prey upon that and make it even worse. It's common sense with average athletic or physical ability is all it takes to be pretty good at this game, as long as you stay loose, relaxed, and stress-free. Okay, tell me where I got that "I don't know" routine from, and I'll send you a sleeve of balls of your choice. First, a sincere thank you to all of my supporters over this last year. Well, that's about it. Hope you liked what I said, and I hope you all join me on my new adventure. It'll be the same channel, only the name will change to protect the innocent. It'll be called the Smoking Conservative, or maybe the Smoking Patriot. It'll be the Smoking something. It should be lots of fun. See you there.